Are y'all ready to root down, rise up, and grow forward?
All right.
That's what Career Cultivated is all about. Okay, so next slide. Hopefully it'll go. There we go. My name is Scott Raether. I did 4 years in the Navy, and 4 years on an aircraft carrier was enough for me. I worked part-time at an organization that, it was a nonprofit organization that helped the veteran community with job search strategy. We're using a book called the Dictionary of Occupational Titles to determine what a person did in the service and translate it into civilian terminology to help them find work. And I got laid off, found myself looking for employment like many of you all, but the great thing was I had built relationships and I had a strong network, which led me to the Air Force. I spent 15 years with the United States Air Force running the employment program for Scott Air Force Base. So then came what was called the DRP, Deferred Resignation Program. That one, I was a little bit more like, you know what? The government is actually going to pay me to September for me to launch a business. Why don't I just make the leap and go for it? I was the subject matter expert throughout the entire Air Force. I wrote the desk guide for job search strategy for the Air Force. So I decided to take the leap and start Career Cultivated. So building a business was like, it was always on my radar, but I'm like, nah, I don't know if I can do it, I can't do it, but I decided to take that leap. So I am a certified professional career coach, certified professional resume writer, and I'm also a certified Ikigai life coach, which means taking what you know, what you're good at, where your passion lies, what the world needs, and how you can make money at it, right? So my goal is to help my clients find their Ikigai. So it's not just helping you find a job, but also helping you find your passion and your purposes. I'm also a LinkedIn strategist. So here's where we're at, and this is crazy. If I go back to 1992, people were really working for a company for 20 years. They're hoping to get that gold watch, get that retirement. Things have changed. Nowadays, and back then, the only people that were looking for employment were the ones that didn't have a job. Now, 70% of individuals are probably not happy with where they're at, and they're looking for something better. So what does that mean for the unemployed? It means that they're competing against not just other individuals that don't have a job, but individuals that are also looking for something bigger and better. So the competition is extremely tough. And now companies, because they're getting so many applicants, they are ghosting the job seeker. And the problem with that, when 64% of the job seekers are getting ghosted and not getting any type of feedback, it leads to this problem down here where 72% of job seekers are having a negative effect on their mental health because of the rejection. So that's where my life coaching comes in, building resiliency, understanding that rejection is part of the process. And how do we overcome that? We overcome that by building relationships with other individuals. That's what we really need to do, is we can't focus on just applying for jobs, hoping something sticks. We have to get out there and we have to build relationships with other individuals so that way you know when opportunities are available and you are a referral versus just an applicant. So here's what I've learned throughout this entire process. Most people don't fail a career transition because they lack the experience or the qualifications. They fail because they do not know how to tell their story. They do not know how to effectively build relationships. They do not know how to ask for help. So my goal in coaching my clients is by asking them and promoting them to not be afraid and go out and ask for help and seek guidance. Build those relationships. Find companies that you're interested in. Build relationships for individuals that work at those companies. And then when that job comes available that you're qualified for, you have the in. And that's what we're looking to do. So we need to articulate what they bring, how their branding speaks the wrong language. We don't know it, but everybody in here has a brand. It's a matter of how do you articulate that brand for you to be seen. And that's what I tend to work with. So that way you're not invisible to the individuals that are hiring. So on an average job, it's 250 applicants per position. How do I filter myself through the 250? You set yourself apart by becoming a referral. So this is primarily who I work with, but I'm open to anybody, right? I'm down for breaking down barriers. Any type of barrier that a person has to finding employment, that's my objective. That's my strategy. That's my ikigai, is breaking down those barriers. But primarily, obviously you could tell by the nonprofit and working for the Air Force, it's the military community. That's my primary. However, anybody looking at a career pivot, I've helped teachers break out of the classroom to get jobs in maybe ed tech or something along those lines. I've helped college students. This is probably my favorite group to work with because they're young, they're ambitious, but yet they don't have experience. So how can we get them into a professional job? And then I also work with international professionals. As a matter of fact, right after this, I'm driving to Clayton and I'm doing a workshop on LinkedIn for a group of international women that are struggling for finding employment, and I'm going to help them market themselves on LinkedIn. So that's what I'm doing after this. So the idea is, and actually you can see down here, is how do we combat AI? We're told AI can help us find a job, but I want it to be human-centric. As a matter of fact, I'm talking to AI as to how it's not going to steal my job in the future, right? I'm literally prompting it, how can you save my job? But what I noticed is that human-first connection is what everybody desires and what everybody needs. So we'll use it as a tool, but at the same time, we need that human approach to build relationships to ultimately find employment. So, I'm already in motion. I've been doing this for a while. I have over 20,000 followers on LinkedIn. I have a 14-day jumpstart your job search. I have an assessment that I've developed that a person can fill out to tell them where they're at in their career confidence. And that guides me to how I can support them. And yes, I use AI to develop that assessment. I do workshop facilitation. I'll be in Chicago on the 13th and the 14th doing workshops there for the veteran community and helping them understand how to navigate a job search. I do LinkedIn. I have an optimized LinkedIn workbook. I do career confidence for job seekers. And then I also have over 5,000 hours, and that's approximately over 30 years of coaching and guiding people to employment. So today, my ask is, how can I get out to the community better? I have spent my entire life providing guidance for free. Working nonprofit, free. Working for the government, free. And now I'm at a place where I have to charge people for my services, and I'm struggling with that. So that's kind of where I'm at is, I know a person doesn't have a job, how can they afford to pay for a career coach? Well, I look at it as an investment, right? But Scott, the giver, has a hard time developing sort of my strategy and how I'm going to charge and how I'm going to optimize. And that's kind of where I need your help. I need your help getting me out into the community. I've been embedded at Scott Air Force Base and in Illinois for like 25 years. I need to get to St. Louis. Can you help me get to St. Louis? So that's my ask for the day. So bottom line, are you ready to grow something together? Are you ready to root down, rise up, and grow forward together as a community? So here's all of my socials, and this is the QR code that takes you to my link tree. Please feel free to scan them. Please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you very much.